Okay, to show the intensity of the move we had, this was in March of 2020, a big jump almost to 90 on the VIX. And you can see the only other time we were near that was about 10 years ago in 2008. We had the financial crisis and we went all the way up to almost 100, about 97. So big deal. Those were the two massive, massive spikes in the VIX. And we are starting to approach lower levels again, as you can see. So I set these up here. We had bounced off the blue line in the past, and that was really great. It was a good indicator and support level to bounce the VIX. This was high volatility, big drops in the market kind of situations. And then now the green is the gap that was set up, and we have cleared that gap. And it appears like we're heading lower towards the low teens in the VIX. What's going on, traders? Welcome to the channel. My name's John. That's Groot. We trade options here. So implied volatility and the VIX indicator, there are two main things we need to look at in 2021 to become better traders. Because options are a derivative of stocks, I like to think of the VIX as a derivative to the options in a way. For anyone who just likes the simple explanation, it's basically just the fear gauge. It measures how much fear and uncertainty is sitting in the market at any time. Because of this, it has an inverse relationship to the market. As the VIX spikes much higher, it's due to the stock market actually having big drops or catalysts that are creating unknowns in the market, and due to that, there's a drop. So then you start seeing a lot more options trading hands, and then that generates more volatility in the market and in the VIX. So for number one, it's always nice to understand that as the VIX goes lower, it does mean you're seeing a little bit less risk in the market, and it usually means the market's going higher. This isn't always the true case, but just keep in mind that is a good rule of thumb to stage your trades and your portfolio by. So as I always say, keep your risk in check. It's kind of personal for every person, but to me, I like the idea of kind of assuming that we'll see higher spikes in the VIX in the future. So I like to leave a little capital on the side just in case. Number two, this is really, really important, especially for newer traders. It is that since the VIX is getting lower, you're actually taking in less premium and less money per trade. And the way I can better explain this is, let's just use a generic example here. Someone who might have been trading for the last year or two might be used to, their trade pocketing like $100 a trade or something. And then now with this lower volatility environment, you're actually getting paid less for the risk there because there is perceived less risk in the market. And previously you were collecting like $100 a trade. This now might be maybe $50, $60, $70 a trade instead. And so someone might have been like, oh, I'm making this much money per week, like $200-$300 a week. Now they're seeing that cut in half. That could be a trap for some traders because they might be having these set expectations, and because of that reason they want to trade and overtrade and basically exposing themselves to more future risk than may be necessary. So do keep that in mind. That is really hard, tough concept to understand. I wish I would have knew that many years ago. Take from my experience and understand that if you put a little bit of dry powder on the sidelines, it saves you from getting yourself in trouble and being stuck, because when the market moves, you can't really trade your way out of it until later. You got to let the dust settle. So having that extra capital available will give you money to put into more trades as the volatility spikes up again, so you get paid more for the risk. I think that's really important. I think it's very interesting to understand there. And I'd also say that a thing I've been keeping up with is, since the market's going higher, I want to be positioned in stocks that seem to make sense. So I did analyze ARK Invest price target, and that's going to be the next one to understand here and why I think that's good for long-term growth for my particular portfolio. Yeah, it's just right there. Yeah. Or there's this one right here.